the biggest winter hair trends for men for winter 2020. And I know we're in kind of the fall right now, but I like to be one step ahead. Just like fashion, they're always one season ahead. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the biggest hair trends that I see in 2020 in the winter season. So the first one we're going to talk about is the textured spike. The textured spike is a really unique haircut where it's fairly tapered throughout the sides here. And you can do this by using either like a number 2 guard or a number 3 guard, or even a number 1 guard. But the real key point to this entire haircut is that the top is spiked, but it's very, very textured. And what does textured mean? It means it's not so solid, not one just solid clump of hair. You're able to run your fingers through it. You're able to get some pieciness. You're able to get some movement, and most importantly, texture. This is styled very, very easily with a clay, a hair paste, or any sort of texture powder. This next haircut I'm calling the cropped sweep. So why cropped? Well, because it's cropped throughout the sides and also the back. Now, one thing that you need to take note of is that this particular haircut, it's blended, but there's a pretty severe weight line in throughout the haircut. And you can get it blended if you want, but I have been seeing a lot of haircuts where it is more of an obvious disconnect between the sides into the top. So where does the sweeping come from? Well, as you can see throughout the corner right in through here, there's no severe parting, and the entire shape sweeps over to where the focal point is right in the front like this. You can cut this a little bit shorter, but what's great about this is that you can run your fingers through it and you can kind of brush it back, or you can just let the hair hang forward like this naturally, and it still creates a great look. And this definitely is something that is cut shorter into the longer length in the front. So that's why it sweeps very easily. It still can look very professional, can look very, very neat, but I think this is going to be a huge hair trend in winter. This can be styled with, believe it or not, no product whatsoever, maybe a light pre-styling spray like my 25 spray, or a sea salt spray like my best-selling product Tidal Wave. You can spray this in, you can let it air dry, or just blow dry it with your fingers and your hands here and get similar results. This is what I'm calling the mop top haircut. The reason is because it just looks like there's a bunch of hair on someone's head, and believe it or not, there's actually a lot that goes into this haircut. So it's tapered throughout the sides and the back in through here, and it could probably be done with, I'd say, like a number 3 or 4 guard. Nothing too short, because you don't want it to show a lot of the skin, but you don't want it to be too long. It needs to be tapered. It blends up in throughout the top back, going shorter into longer, and the top length is probably about anywhere from 3.5 to even 5 inches in length throughout the top. And what's unique about this is there are a lot of people getting perms to make their hair have some texture and some curl to it. And in this particular mannequin, I achieved this look by scrunching a lot with a blow dryer to create a curl type of look. So you can actually even do this if your hair is straight by using, again, a sea salt spray and then the blow drying technique where you're actually scrunching the hair like this. You need to have some length throughout the hair, and there are variations of people wearing their hair even longer, but having it very, very messy and either curly or straight, and a lot of flips and waves throughout here. But this is the focal point of the haircut. To me, I would use probably just 1 or 2 products, again, like a sea salt spray or a blow dry cream, and either let it air dry or blow dry it to enhance the curl by scrunching it. Next up is the middle part flow. Why the middle part? Well, obviously because it's parted in the middle. And the flow, because look at the flow on this haircut. I mean, this is incredible. So a flow basically means that the hair just flows into everything, from the top down into the bottom. It's a seamless connection, and that's why it just flows. And you can change up the parting if you want, but I think for the trend, it's going to be more towards the center parting. And also, if you notice, it's not necessarily such a severe part. And that's created by just when you style your hair, you're trying to get as much volume as you can in through here. So it's kind of the natural parting of a lot of people. Everyone has a natural part in their hair. So this is basically embracing the natural part on this mannequin. So as far as the length goes, the length is probably anywhere from 4 to 6 inches on top, and it's all blended in and connected in throughout the sides here. The sides for this and the back for this particular look aren't super short. I would say you can leave this 1.5 inches to 2 inches long. Yes, you can go around the ear to keep it neat looking, but the key to this is to make sure it has that length so you can see that flow. As far as styling goes, I would use a pre-styling spray, my Tidal Wave Sea Salt spray, and then when you blow dry it, to finish it off, you can use either a light hairspray, or you can just pretty much use your fingers and keep it natural. The key to this is that you want it to hold, but if you do want to run your fingers through it, or if the wind hits it or something, you still want to be able to have that flow and that movability. And the last hair trend is what we're calling the messy mane. This almost looks like a lion's mane. This is really for somebody who really wants total freedom with their hair. You're constantly running your fingers through it. You don't care what side it falls on. But I think this is going to be a big trend. One, because during quarantine, a lot of people are growing their hair out. They're not necessarily getting their haircuts as much. So their hair's a lot longer, but they're unsure what to do with it. So I say embrace it. You can grow out the sides, grow out the top to where the top is probably down to almost the lip here. Make sure you've got some layers, make sure you've got some texture in it so that when you run your fingers through your hair, it looks messy, but it also looks very controlled and very stylish at the same time. So I think longer hair has become a bit more acceptable, especially in today's current situation, but messy and controlled at the same time. That's what you want. You don't want to have hair that's all over the place and looks just like a complete mess. You want to have it looking like a good mess, you know, where it still has some style to it. Again, sea salt spray or maybe a smoothing serum or some sort of blow dry cream, which I have all of those products. Work it through the hair and then blow dry it. And as far as the finish, you probably don't even need to put anything in it to finish, because again, this is the kind of style where you're running your fingers through it and you want that freedom and you want that flow. The whole thing has to be layered. You have to make sure that this does connect in throughout the top here. If there aren't any layers in it, the hair is just going to flop down. So making sure that the hair is layered is really crucial. And when I say layered, what do I mean? I mean that it's got shorter lengths throughout the top here, and it goes from shorter into longer. Usually the longest point is probably the front. But you have to make sure that even though it's grown out and it's a bit messy, that it still has a good shape to it. Well, here is the collection for the biggest hair trends for men, the winter season 2020, at least from what I am thinking and predicting. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Stay safe and healthy. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time for more videos with a Salon Guy.